I'm probably gonna get hate comments for this one, but whatever. This is my opinion. Deal with it. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station. No one such as your opinion of animation, and we are starting to get to the tail end of our Cowabunga Calvacade reviews. Not the entire marathon, just the reviews. Because now we've reached the Bay Turtles, starting off with the first film, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014. This is a movie that has been pretty much ripped apart by everyone in the known universe. Critics, fans, general audiences mostly. But it does have some fans, and I can't say that I'm really one of them, but I do have a soft spot for this movie. So if you're expecting me to rant and rave and scream about everything they got wrong, or everything that they should have done that they decided not to do, or any of that kind of crap, go watch Angry Video Game Nerd and Nostalgia Critics crossover review of it, if you want that kind of entertainment. However, if you are one of those people that can actually handle a controversial opinion, then welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. And if I've already been on this channel, welcome back. So, we're going full deep dive analysis with this one because, yeah, I don't hate this movie. I consider it, in my personal opinion, a guilty pleasure movie. A movie that's not very good. In fact, it's not really good at all. But I have a soft spot for it. It gives me some fond memories, and I do have some fun with it. So, yeah, this isn't going to be one of those super negative critiques, super cliche reviews of this movie that you've seen a dozen times over from other channels. This is going to be one of those rare takes where we're going to be taking a look at the entire movie from start to finish and see what they got wrong, how they could have improved it, and the things that they actually get correct. Which isn't a lot, but still, it's the notable stuff, because it's not all doom and gloom with this movie. At least the first one. I have a little less positive things to say about Out of the Shadows, so don't worry. I will give that movie a full thrashing when we get there, but for this one we're going full deep dive analysis to really see how this ended up falling apart as much as it did. So, without further ado, grab your favorite ninja bandana and weapons, and if you're Raphael, grab your toothpicks. And let's get started. I'm not doing this the whole video. It's gonna end up stabbing me in the tongue. Okay. So let's start with our cast. First up, we have Megan Fox playing Megan Fox. She's Megan Fox. Moving on. Then there's Will Arnett as Vern, which could have been really cool. Will Arnett can be funny, and he is a good actor. But here, he clearly just took a paycheck. He tries to be funny, but it just doesn't work. And it doesn't feel like Vern at all. William Fichtner is Eric Sachs. I'm not saying the joke because A, it's inappropriate, B, it's juvenile, and C, because it's been done to death. But, yeah, he's fine. He's another really good actor. He's just not in a very good movie. And now we have our turtles, which are pretty much played by all the guys that are actually in the suits this time, which is a nice change. Except for Leonardo, which is weird. Let's talk about it. So, for the actual suit actors, we have Noel Fisher as Michelangelo, Alan Ritchson as Raphael, Peter Plozek as Leonardo, and Jeremy Howard as Donatello. However, again, weirdly, Leonardo is the only one that has a different voice, because I think this may be a first for any of these Turtles movies, specifically the live-action ones, where the people in the suits actually get to voice the turtles that they're playing. They're not just doing the physical acting while someone else does the voice. Which is interesting. It's a very interesting change that definitely makes this movie stand out in a very weird way. So you may be wondering, okay, Leonardo has a different voice. Who did they get to voice Leonardo? Because apparently he's just the one actor that they didn't decide to let be both the suit and the voice. Johnny Knoxville. Yeah, that guy, the jackass guy. Like, why? His name's not even on the posters. Why put him in there? And not only that, his Leonardo, yeah, it's bad. He does not match Leonardo at all. His voice sounds incredibly off, and it just sounds like he's disinterested throughout the entire movie. Which, if that was the case, why the heck would you even be in the movie in the first place? I mean, it's not as bad as it is in Out of the Shadows, which again, I'll give that one the full thrashing it deserves tomorrow. But, yeah, I'm not a fan of Knoxville's Leonardo. I'm just not. The voice doesn't work. Just no. It should have just let Pete Plozek voice him. End of story. And then we have Danny Woodburn playing Splinter in the suit, and then the voice is provided by Tony Shalhoub. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They're fine. They're not a very good Splinter, but he doesn't really get to do a whole lot in the movie either, aside from spout off exposition, so it's fine. Tohuru Masamune is Shredder. Bad Shredder, moving on. Whoopi Goldberg is Bernadette Thompson, aka April's boss at Channel 6. It's fine, but it's a very inconsequential role that could have just been cut out of the movie and you wouldn't miss anything. Mine Noji is Karai. Karai is somehow even worse than Shredder. I hate this version of Karai, I'm sorry. It's so out of character and so just not at all accurate to its source material, which I would be fine with, but just like with Rise of the TMNT, which I already gave its full thrashing, they completely messed it up to the point where it's not even the same character. If they didn't put it on the IMDb page or in the credits, or if Shredder didn't say it in the one freaking scene that they get together, I wouldn't know it's Karai. I just thought it'd be some random female general that just happens to have black hair with red bangs. Yeah, moving on. Not a fan of her Karai at all. Then Abby Elliott is Taylor. She's fine. She's just the token roommate that doesn't need to be there, but is there for whatever reason. Madison Mason's a councilman. He's fine. Taron Killiam is McNaughton. He's fine. K. Todd Freeman is Baxter Stockman. I didn't even realize he was in this movie until I looked at the credits. Because you don't even spot him. He's like one of those background characters that you just don't even say. But yet, he's in there, apparently. Sorry. Allergies sometimes mess with me. And then rounding us out is Paul Fitzgerald as Dr. O'Neill. Fine. So this cast is mostly fine, but very unimpressive. Are there any that I like? Yeah, I kind of actually like Alan Ritchson's really interesting take on Raphael. He does a great job getting his personality down. I did like the voice. He just got some really bad lines because of the terrible writing. So, yeah, the voice cast and actors are fine. They're not anything great. They're just fine. They're serviceable. That's the word, serviceable. All right, now for some anniversary fact. Well, anniversary. Time for some facts. I'm only doing 5 this time. The film was released on the 30th anniversary of the TMNT saga. Interesting. Originally, the Mutant Thugs Bebop and Rocksteady were to appear in the film to fight the Turtles. They were to be martial arts soldiers that were given mutagen and turned into monstrous super soldier mutations for the Turtles to fight. They were written out with the intent of appearing in Out of the Shadows. Yeah, where they become the worst part of that movie. Raphael has Mikey was here scribbled on his shell in Japanese. Okay, that's kind of funny. It fits Mikey's character to pull a prank like that. The film was originally going to be called just Ninja Turtles, but the Teenage Mutant part was put in to please the fans when they expressed negative feedback. Makes sense. And the Turtles Assault Van's car horn plays the TMNT 87 theme. Well, technically, not even the whole theme, it's just the Heroes in a Half Shell. That part. The rest of it, it's not that at all. It's just another crappy pop song. Oh, there's some cameos. There's Kevin Eastman, one of the creators of Ninja Turtles. He is a doctor in this movie. Eastman was also brought on as consultant for the film and provided artwork for the opening animated montage. explains why the montage is one of the best parts of the movie, because Eastman was actually involved in it. And Bahati Prinsloo, Victoria's Secret Angel in the end credits, and a Victoria's Secret billboard ad, which the Turtles use to hide themselves from the civilians and blend in. Yeah, they make a joke with the Turtles blending in and pretending to be her boobs. Ha ha, funny. No, it's stupid. Well, it's so stupid it kind of ends up being funny, but yep, that part is pretty cringy. Okay, that's enough trivia. The quotes, they don't really have a whole lot of good quotes, but they do have one that I do want to highlight. It's the one with Raphael. This is when the Turtles think they're about to meet their end as this scaffolding's falling down and down. I think this is it, guys. Does anyone have anything they want to say? Donnie? I'm the one who ate the icing off the Pop-Tarts in the morning and put them back in the box. Okay, that's a legitimately great line. I still did not understand the ending of Lost. Dated. Raf, I just, if this is our last moment together, I just want you guys to know I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was so hard on you. Every time I pushed you, I threatened you, I yelled at you, I pushed you beyond your limits. It's because I believe in you. I believe in each one of you. I believe in your spirit and your intelligence and your potential. And every time I talked about walking away, it was because I was scared. I just didn't think I was good enough to stand next to you and call you brothers and say to you, I love you. Raf, we made it. You crying? No, ding dong. Just a little dusty in here. See, like that felt like Raphael. He truly does care about his brothers, but he hides it under this tough exterior. Like, that's the one great line from this movie. And the rest of the lines are either really stupid or just lazy. So, yeah. That's pretty lousy. Okay, plot synopsis time. Hopefully they actually have one this time. Ah, yes they do, and it's a pretty lengthy one. Okay. Sit back, guys. This one might take a little bit. The villainous criminal organization known as the Foot Clan has been terrorizing New York City, led by the ruthless Shredder. Beneath the sewers, the Rat Sensei, Master Splinter, has been training his 4 sons until they are ready to take Shredder on and become heroes. I will fully admit that this movie actually starts out really good. Like, that first opening sequence, I had some hope, because, again, Kevin Eastman made the art, and it's done in the actual style of the old Mirage comic books, with the shadows and the colors and everything. It looks really, really cool. Unfortunately, though, from there it goes downhill. Meanwhile, reporter Megan Fox pesters a doc... Yeah, I'm not calling her April. She's Megan Fox playing Megan Fox. Moving on. Megan Fox pesters a dock worker for information on chemical materials that the Foot Clan may be involved with. Not getting any answers, she and her cameraman, Will Arnett, go into the city to do a puff piece on trampoline fitness. Just, because it's a Michael Bay produced movie, we gotta have that female gratuity in there somewhere. April wants to do better stories. Well, sorry, not April. Megan Fox wants to do better stories, but Will Arnett assures her that some people enjoy these kind of stories the same way they enjoy foam on coffee. Decent idea for a joke, but the delivery just does not work. Megan Fox learns from the dock worker that something is being brought into the docks. She rides her bike there at night to find the Foot Clan, led by their lieutenant, Naji. I'm not saying Karai, it's not Karai, shut up. Preparing to bring something in. Megan Fox tries to get footage on her phone when a shadowy figure shows up and takes out the foot soldiers one by one. Assumedly it's Raphael. The figure leaves behind a symbol that that Megan Fox recognizes. I can't freaking talk. She tells her roommate, Taylor, random one-note generic character person, about this, and also at work to her boss, Whoopi Goldberg, but nobody seems to believe her or care about what she has to say. We see a man with his hands tied behind his back and a foot soldier trying to attack him, but the man easily takes the soldier down. This man is Shredder. Naji reports to him about the vigilante activity and that these non-human creatures must be stopped. The NYPD teams up with Eric, I'm not saying his last name because it leads to juvenile jokes, of Last Name Incorporated, to take down the Foot Clan. Megan Fox finds Eric at an event where we learn that her father worked with him on a project before he passed away. After the event, Megan Fox and Will Arnett drive home when they see terrorized New Yorkers scrambling all around the streets. Megan Fox leaves the van to check it out, only to get grabbed by a foot soldier and thrown in with other hostages. Nojia, sorry for mispronouncing your last name, calls out the vigilantes to show themselves, or the foot soldiers will execute the hostages. The Ninja Turtles catch them on their camera and then ride the subway to find the Foot Clan and beat them down easily, freeing the hostages in the process. April runs out and climbs a fire escape to find the turtles on the roof. She snaps a picture, which startles them, leading to one of the good parts of the movie, where they go for a high three and they freeze right when the camera flash goes off. Like, that part is pretty funny. I'll give it that. Like, this movie has some funny jokes, it's just buried under a lot of other really crappy jokes. She gets grabbed and is confronted by the turtles, with Raphael doing his Batman voice. That part should be cringy, but it just makes me laugh. Causing her to faint. When she comes to, she meets the four heroes in a half shell. The leader, Leonardo, the brainy Donatello, rebellious Raphael, and goofball Michelangelo. Donnie wiped Megan's phone, and Leo hands it back to her, warning her not to tell anyone about them or they'll find her. Mikey reiterates this, being a creepy perv while he does it, and it's obvious he's attracted to her. The turtles leave, and she still manages to get a picture of them from the distance. She runs home and opens a box filled with documents, pictures, and videos on Project Renaissance, what her and Eric were working on. She sees a video of her as a kid recording in her father's lab using a mutagen on the turtles and Splinter pre-mutation. She personally named them and fed them pizza, which they all loved. She even recognizes the symbol from earlier as meaning family. Okay, I like the idea. I know a lot of people hate this part, but a lot like what Critic and Nerd said in their review, this part is pretty interesting. Not to mention, it's a neat way to differentiate a little from the normal source material, and it doesn't come off as spiteful or just lazy. So, yeah, I like this idea. It's a bit stupid, but the turtles have always not really been meant to be taken too seriously, so I can let it slide. It's a pretty interesting idea. The turtles try to sneak back into their lair without alerting Splinter. However, he manages to catch them and punishes them by making them maintain balance in certain things until he tells them why they were out on the streets and what he calls the Hashi. And they do get a bit creative with these, like we have Leonardo having to balance on a chair while holding two chopsticks full of dumplings, and then there's Donatello who has to balance this wooden board on this ball thing while also playing ping pong. I forget what Raphael's was. And then Mikey's is just standing upside down on a chair, spinning in the 360 motion. Where else we were? Splinter breaks Mikey by tempting him with, what else? Pizza. Mikey admits they were out fighting the Foot Clan, and when he mentions Megan's name, Splinter is alarmed and he orders the turtles to go find her. She continues digging into the turtles' past, and she tells Whoopi Goldberg about what she saw the previous night. Unfortunately, this gets her fired. Because of course it does. You really think she's gonna believe you when you tell a story about talking to her? Whatever. Afterwards, Will Arnett takes her to the Eric estate so she can personally ask Eric about what he and Dr. O'Neill were working on. She shows him the photo of the turtles, and he takes her into his room and tells her about his past in Japan, being abandoned by his father, and learning of a legend about a ruthless warlord in the area. He gives April his card. She logs onto her computer to find some news on the turtles in the subway, only to find that Donnie hacked her computer and sends her to an address for her to meet them at. She goes alone, and the turtles take her into their lair. There she meets Splinter, who remembered April before he mutated. He tells her that her father was working with Eric and Shredder, but he learned that Shredder was planning something evil, and so Dr. O'Neill burned the lab down and killed himself in the process. Sorry, there's no way to sugarcoat that. April, why do I keep saying it? It's not April, it's Megan Fox. Megan Fox saved Splinter and the Turtles, and she took them to the sewers to be safe. The mutagen later took effect and turned Splinter into a walking and talking rat that raised the Turtles as his sons. The boys were always curious about life above the surface, but Splinter tried to keep them away, and instead taught himself the art of ninjutsu before passing it down to the Turtles. Okay, I gotta complain about this. I know Nerd already pretty much ripped this moment to pieces, but I need to say my piece about it as well. This art is stupid for a multitude of reasons. One, a book written in Japanese, which Splinter has no idea how to even read. Well, they shouldn't know how to read. Two, it doesn't even explain anything. It's just a bunch of pictures that look like crappy Game & Watch, Game & Watch sprites. And three, from a book. He learns all of these moves and skills from a book. That's not how that works, guys. That's not how that works. Splinter is supposed to know how to teach the Turtles and himself ninjutsu because he was Hamato Yoshi's pet rat, mimicking the movements from his cage. Or he was Hamato Yoshi, and he already had all the skills, so when he got mutated, they, of course, were developed into his fighting style. So, yeah. In other words, this moment's really freaking stupid. When they were ready, he armed them with their trademark weapons, Leo for his katanas, Donnie with a bow staff, Raf with sai, and Mikey with nunchucks. Splinter then expresses his thanks to Megan Fox for protecting them. Eric is really working for Shredder, and they come by his armor, which has been given some upgrades. The Foot Clan also manages to track the location of the lair. They infiltrate the place, triggering an alarm that alerts the Turtles. The Foot Soldiers break in with a bomb and blow the place open. The Turtles fight the soldiers, and Splinter gets in on the action himself, fighting Shredder. Mikey brings Megan Fox to a safe spot before returning to fight. Shredder enters the lair, decked out in his armor with multiple knives on each arm. In other words, he becomes a Transformer because this is a Michael Bay movie, and of course he becomes a Transformer. What do you expect? Moving on. Though I will admit, his suit is pretty cool. It's just so over the top, it becomes dumb. Where were we? He faces off with Splinter, who dodges Shredder's knives and gets a few good hits in. Splinter shuts the doors to protect his sons, but they lift him up in time to see Shredder grab Splinter and hold him before the Turtles, threatening to kill him if they don't lay down their weapons. They do so, but Shredder still hits Splinter hard enough to take him out, while the soldiers cattle prod Leo, Donnie, and Mikey, capturing them and then blowing the lair up. Blowing the lair up. They don't really blow it up that much. It doesn't matter. Raf emerges from the rubble and goes with Megan Fox to take Splinter to rest. He pleads with Raf to save his brothers and stop Shredder. Raf gets ready to spring into action, grabbing all of his brother's weapons as he does so, in one of the only good visual shots of the movie. Megan Fox calls Will Arnett to take her and Raf to the Eric estate again. Will Arnett sees Raf, and although he's shocked, he complies and drives them. In the laboratory beneath his home, Eric holds Leo, Donnie, and Mikey in cages, trying to extract their blood that contains mutagen. His and Shredder's plan is to infect the city with a toxin that would quarantine the city, then seize control over everything with the mutagen to use as a cure. Outside, Will Arnett rams through the gate, running over foot soldiers. Raf busts out of the van to go find his brothers, and then Megan Fox and Will Arnett follow. Raf fights Shredder on his own, while Megan Fox tries to free the others by giving them an adrenaline injection. This allows them to bust out and help Raf fight Shredder before No, that's not accurate at all. Now what happens is Raf gets the freaking crap kicked out of him by Shredder, even having his shell stomped in. And then the Turtles arrive just in time to pick him up off the ground and go chase Shredder. I guess the people that wrote the synopsis didn't see the whole movie. Either that or they just forgot details. The heroes hijack a truck with random generic lieutenant and the foot soldiers chasing after them. The soldiers hit the truck with an RPG, causing them to slide down the mountain. The turtles slide down the mountain on their shells, taking out the Foot Clan trucks by slamming into them and flipping them over. Donnie calculates a big drop about to happen. Random lieutenant hooks onto Leo as he tries to save Megan Fox and Will Arnett, causing her truck to tumble over and crash into a tree. Raf pulls Leo, Megan Fox, and Will Arnett up in time, but not before Donnie slingshots Raphael and he becomes a Sonic the Hedgehog spin dash ball. Yes, that really happens. They then head over to the city to stop Shredder. Okay, I'll give them this. I do like the mountain chase. I feel like that's one of the cooler scenes in the movie, because it's dynamic, it tries to be really unique and creative with the camera angles and visuals, and some of the moments in it are really freaking cool. Like, again, the Raft Sonic spin ball dash thing. Like, it's stupid, but it's that special kind of stupid that actually kind of works. And then, of course, Mikey also gets to use that awesome rocket-powered skateboard, which you only got to see a bit of in the one opening with them going down the sewer after they talk with April the first time. But, yeah, it's pretty cool, honestly. I have no problems with the mountain scene. It's actually pretty awesome. One of the best parts of the movie. Shredder and Eric make it back to Eric Tower to release the toxin. Megan Fox and Will Arnett go look for the Mutant, while the Turtles take Shredder on. Of course, not before the classic, beloved, even the haters like it scene that is the elevator scene. It's everything we love about the Turtles in only a few seconds, because they're about to head into their final battle, and they have a moment to just have this improv beatbox moment. It's the one moment in the movie that legitimately had me laughing. Even now, it's still one of those moments that you just remember. Even if you don't like the movie very much, you remember this part. And even haters of this movie can agree that that scene was great. It was the one great scene that everyone could agree on. So, yeah, that moment is pretty freaking cool. They charge in with Mikey yelling Cowabunga. The Turtles gang up on Shredder, but he proves a tough foe to beat. Rightfully so, he's Shredder. Meanwhile, Megan Fox manages to secure the Mutant as Will Arnett knocks Eric out, even after Eric shoots Vern in the arm. Well, it's technically in the shoulder, but yeah, whatever. The Turtles then band together with a maneuver that allows them to push Shredder off the roof, playing Buck Buck, which is a nice callback to the flashback scene from earlier. Donnie goes to stop the toxin's release as Shredder pulls himself back up. Leo, Raf, and Mikey continue to hold him off, and Donnie is able to stop the release with a second to spare. Shredder then tries to knock the top of the tower down. The Turtles try holding it back. Megan Fox gets to the roof and shows off the Mutant to Shredder to distract him. The top of the tower comes crashing down as Shredder lunges at Megan Fox and throws them both off the building. They hang on for dear life, and the Turtles try to save April. Megan Fox. Shredder tries to finish him off, but Leo throws his katana at him, causing Shredder to lose balance and fall to the ground. No, that's not what happened at all. What happens is, first he gets one of his own knives thrown back into his chest, and then Leonardo throws his katana to deflect the second one and put him in the chest, and then Raph swings Megan Fox over to get the final shot on Shredder by kicking him in the face, which makes him fall down and splat on the pavement. Well, not splat, he just creates a crater and goes, boom. Yeah, that's your final battle. It's fine, but it could have been so much cooler. I do like the Buck Buck moment, though. That moment is kind of cool. Until Raphael ruins it by using the most forced Cowabunga that I've ever heard. Thanks, Raf. Alright, next. Raf admits his brash behavior was out of fear for his brothers, and he admits he loves them right before he realizes they landed safely. Mikey notices he's crying, but Raf brushes it off. Again, the good moment. Give me a minute! They return to the sewers. The citizens then crowd around Shredder, who slightly moved his hand with mutagen on his fingers. It's supposed to, I guess, be a hint at Super Shredder, but it never happens, so it doesn't matter. The Turtles get some Mutant to revive Splinter. He is proud of his boys. Later, April meets up with Vern, who is showing off his new car. The Turtles show up in their own vehicle to thank Megan Fox for her help. Mikey then accidentally launches a rocket that blows Warnock's car up. The Turtles offer to give them a lift, but Megan Fox says they'll just take the subway. As they drive away, Mikey sings Happy Together to Megan Fox, and she smiles, and that's the end of the movie. So many plot holes, so many stupid moments, but it's overall fine. It's not horrible. I've seen worse. You can definitely do worse, especially with live-action remakes. I mean, don't forget, Dragon Ball Evolution exists. So, it's fine. It's just not remarkable. So, that's the entire plot. That's trivia. That's the voice acting. I guess now all we have left is the written review, and then it's see you for the next review, I guess. Okay, so, decent action, interesting ideas, the awesome elevator scene, the fun chase down the hill, a few decent jokes, the soundtrack is quite good, Shell Shocked is still a banger, and yes, I will fight you on this. The runtime is fine, the pace is relatively quick, Shredder's suit design, while incredibly silly, is still kind of cool because it's so over the top, and the dynamic between all the Turtles is mostly good with all of them acting in character. However, I can completely admit that it's a very flawed movie, with bad writing, crappy villains, unimpressive voice acting, except for Raf's, which is okay. The boring story, the numerous plot holes, Megan Fox being Megan Fox and not you-know-who in the slightest. A ton of stupid moments, the over-reliance of awful CGI, the shite final battle, the terrible creepy jokes, and of course those awful designs of the Turtles themselves. It's the faces. Everything else is fine, it's the faces that make it so terrible. This is not a good movie at all, but I do have a soft spot for it. It was the second TMNT movie I ever saw in theaters after seeing TMNT 2007 all those years ago. And I have fond memories of my mom's then boyfriend, now ex, buying the DVD and all of us watching it together on Christmas Day of 2014 in a home theater with surround sound, which made it a great experience that I still look back on quite fondly. Very much a guilty pleasure. I still don't recommend it at all. At most, it's a one-and-done rental out of curiosity. Yeah. I can completely agree that this is not a good movie, but it's one of those bad, average one and done films that I do have a soft spot for because it has a good connection with me and my childhood. I'll be down! Hold on! I'm trying to finish! So, yeah. I don't hate it as much as most people do, but I don't go out of my way to defend it either. Final verdict for this movie is going to be a 6 out of 10. And, I mean, check it out if you want to have curiosity, but rent it. Don't buy it. Well, that's it. And with that, we're all caught up, so no more reviews today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time when we talk about the somehow worst sequel that is Out of the Shadows. Cowabunga, dudes. See you next time. Get your earplugs ready, because I may or may not scream a little in that one. Later.